Pitiful Heartless, mindlessly collecting hearts. The rage of the Keyblade releases those hearts. They gather in darkness, masterless and free, until they weave together to make Kingdom Hearts. And when that time comes, we can truly, finally exist.
Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2 came out on the Nintendo DS in Japan on May 30th, 2009 and in America on September 29th, 2009. An HD cinematic movie of the cutscenes in the game was made and released as part of the 1.5 HD remix. I'll be using this version when talking about the plot of the game. This game takes place in the year between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and follows Roxas as a member of Organization 13. Let's get to it. After the opening cutscene reintroduces us to the 13 members of Organization 13, we start off on day 255. Axel meets up with Roxas on the clock tower and they eat ice cream together. Roxas talks about his past 255 days as a member, with Axel teasing him. A little bit later, Roxas wonders where someone is, while Axel seems to have a sour look on his face. The clock then ticks back to the end of the first week of Roxas' life. Day 7. Xemnas introduces all of the organization members to their 14th new member, Xion. Day 8. Axel teaches Roxas the ropes of their missions and then takes him to the clock tower as a sort of icing on the cake. He gives him some sea salt ice cream, of course, with Roxas saying that it tastes salty, yet sweet. Day 9. Roxas then starts being given missions that he will need to accomplish every day. He is assisted by more members of the organization, most notably those who will go to Castle Oblivion soon. Day 14. After completing a mission together, Axel invites Roxas for ice cream again. When asked, Axel replies because they're friends. On the clock tower, Axel asks Roxas if they can have ice cream together the next day as well. Day 22. Axel informs Roxas that he'll be away for a while, being at Castle Oblivion with some others. Axel departs, leaving Roxas alone, who just happened to have a winning stick. Back at the castle, Saïx informs Axel that Xemnas wants him to seek out the traitors that will accompany him and destroy them. Day 24. Roxas and Xion complete a mission together, where she calls Roxas by his name for the first time. Day 25. Setting out on another mission together, Xion takes off her hood and reveals what she looks like for the first time. On the mission, Roxas seems to be having difficulty against the dark side, losing his Keyblade. Xion then summons her own Keyblade and defeats the dark side. Growing closer, Roxas invites Xion to have ice cream with him on the clock tower. As Roxas tells Xion about Axel, she asks if she can be their friend too. Roxas says yes and that the three of them should have ice cream together when Axel returns. Day 26. Roxas learns that all of the organization members who went to Hollow Bastion have disappeared, likely to have been destroyed. After completing a mission together, Xigbar tells Roxas about the hearts that are released when the Heartless are destroyed, forming into Kingdom Hearts. Before they leave, Roxas collapses and falls into a comatose-like state. Day 27. Saïx and Xemnas talk about how Xion has gained the power of the Keyblade and that she can take care of Roxas' missions for the time being. Day 49. Xion visits Roxas and talks about a new world that she went to, one that was very beautiful. She then places a seashell next to Roxas' pillow. We then see Sora entering the pod to go to sleep and regain his memories. Day 50. Roxas finally wakes up and goes to the clock tower, and Xion discovers him there. She gives Roxas a seashell and he listens to the ocean inside of it, recalling a memory that is not his own. Day 71. After completing a mission, Roxas is reunited with Axel. They have ice cream together again as Roxas tells Axel about becoming friends with Xion. Day 72. Saïx confronts Axel about not reporting in right away. Axel tells him that Naminé has gone missing and that he was unable to find her. Saïx then asks if he found the chamber, Axel saying he couldn't. Axel compliments Saïx for knowing that Marluxia was one of the traitors, with Saïx saying that he placed everyone according to his plan.
Whoa there. Was I one of those you wanted to erase?
Good to see you made it back safe.
I disposed of Zexion, by the way. I moved things along just the way you wanted. At least for now.
After his mission, Roxas wonders if Xion will join him and Axel today. Day 74. Out on a mission, they find Xion, who is being attacked by a giant Heartless. They take out the Heartless and the three of them regroup at the clock tower. Something to notice throughout this scene is that from Roxas' perspective, Xion looks the way she does. But from Axel's perspective, Xion seems to have her hood on. The three of them have ice cream together and Xion tells them that she can't use the Keyblade anymore. Roxas and Axel agree to help cover for Xion until they figure out how to help her. When Axel says that Xion is his friend too, he sees Xion's face for the first time. Day 75, the trio talk about the difference between friends and best friends. Day 94, at the top of the castle, Xemnas tells the organization that Kingdom Hearts has finally formed in the sky. At the clock tower, Roxas wonders what Kingdom Hearts really is, and they talk about finally getting hearts of their own. Day 95, Axel talks about them as organization members having memories of their past, with Roxas and Xion saying that they don't have any memories of their past. They ask Axel what he was like before he was a nobody, and Axel says that he was pretty much the same. Roxas and Xion wish to know who they were before. Meanwhile, Diz and Naminé arrive at the castle in Twilight Town. Day 96. Working together, Xion manages to be able to use the Keyblade again. They excitedly go show Axel and Xion thanks the two of them. As they eat ice cream together, Roxas hopes that the three of them will always spend days like this forever. Day 117. Saïx approaches Axel and asks what Xion has been up to recently. Axel tells Saïx to leave, and he informs Axel that he and Xion will be going on a mission together. He also informs Axel that he'll need to return to Castle Oblivion again, with Saïx still wanting to find the chamber. Saïx gives Axel some incentive to go by saying that Xion is originally from Castle Oblivion, and that Naminé can be traced there as well. Axel says that the real reason that Saïx wants to find the chamber is so that he can learn about Xemnas' true agenda, with Saïx saying that Xemnas is hiding something from the other members, and that it has to do with both the Chamber of Repose and the Chamber of Waking. Saïx hopes that by finding the chamber, the two of them will have the upper hand for their true agenda. Axel saying that this is why he took out Vexen and Zexion, to clear the way to the top. At the clock tower without Roxas, Xion tells Axel that when she has ice cream with him and Roxas, she remembers seeing the sunset with someone else like this. She also feels the same way when she sees the sea. Day 118, the organization has a day off, and Roxas and Axel talk about how normal kids spend their summer vacation. Roxas not being able to think about handling all of that time off. When Xion joins them, Axel tells them that he'll be gone for a little while, and that it's classified. Later, Saïx tells Axel that he's getting too attached to Roxas and Xion these days, also saying that Axel has changed. Day 149. On the clock tower, Axel returns and meets up with Roxas, the two wondering where Xion is. Meanwhile, Xion rests in her bed and says that she's not a sham. Day 150. We see Riku recalling a memory of fighting Xion. At the castle, Saïx refuses to give Xion another chance and calls her a mistake. Seeing Roxas watching, Xion runs away. Roxas and Axel continue to wonder what's been up with Xion recently. Day 151. Xion tells Roxas that she was unable to defeat an imposter as per Saïx's orders. She recalls the memory of the fight where she was defeated by Riku. When Riku lifts up Xion's hood, he is surprised by what he sees. He then calls Xion a sham and says that he is one as well, and that he is the biggest nobody of them all. Back in the present, Xion questions Roxas why they are collecting hearts and doing all of this. She also questions her purpose and suddenly leaves. Day 172. Roxas learns that Xion had failed another mission and fell into a deep slumber. At her bedside, he gives her a seashell and heads out on his mission. Axel confronts Saïx about calling Xion a failure and questions him about her true identity. He wants Saïx to be honest with him, but Saïx says the same thing back. Saïx leaves, saying that Xion does not belong among their ranks. Day 193. Xion finally wakes up after having a dream of Sora stabbing himself with Riku's Keyblade, releasing both his and Kairi's heart. Roxas is happy to see Xion awake again, and she joins Roxas on his mission. However, on the mission, Xion faints again, having more visions. They bring Xion back to the castle, and Saïx comments that it must have broke again. Axel tells him to keep his mouth shut. Saïx says that Axel really has changed, and wonder if the past really means nothing to him anymore. When Xion awakens again, Axel says that Roxas and Xion are his best friends. Elsewhere, Naminé draws a picture of Roxas, Xion, and Axel together. Day 194. Axel goes through some books that tells the truth about Naminé, written by Vexen. Day 224. Naminé tells Diz that a nobody seems to be interfering with her putting Sora's memories together. Naminé then says that if his memories become her memories, she won't survive it. Diz questioning this. Xion asks Axel about Castle Oblivion, but he doesn't say much about it. Xion suddenly gets a flash and falls off of the clock tower, Roxas managing to catch her. Axel then says that on their next day off, the three of them should go to the beach together. Roxas and Xion agree. Day 225. Seeking out answers, Xion discovers the information that Saïx entered regarding Castle Oblivion. Day 255. Saïx tells Xemnas and Xigbar that he sent Axel to Castle Oblivion again, to clear out the facilities there. He also informs them that Naminé is still missing. They talk about Xion's current situation, and Xemnas says to wait and watch as Xion falls right into their plans. Xion finds her way to Castle Oblivion and suffers some pain from her head, with Axel finding her there. Xion tells him that this is the place that she came from, while Axel tells her to go back home, back to Roxas. Shion tells him that she's been having dreams of when she was a human, and that Axel is in those dreams. Axel denies this though, and Shion runs away, entering the castle doors. Back at the clock tower, Roxas and Axel talk about Shion's current situation, with Axel not telling him anything. Back in Castle Oblivion, Shion discovers a horrifying truth. Day 256. Xemnas informs everyone that Shion has disappeared and prohibits anyone from looking for her. Day 276. On Destiny's Island, Roxas picks up a seashell and wonders where Shion is. Off in the distance, he spots a black cloaked figure and thinks that it might be Shion. When he gets there, however, he discovers that the person is actually Zexion. A young Riku then appears behind Roxas and a scene from Chain of Memories plays out. Roxas falls to the ground in pain and turns into Shion, who turns into Riku and then turns into Sora. And for those of you who are wondering, no, this scene is never explained. Shion questions her existence in the arms of Riku. Riku flashes back to a conversation that he had with Naminé. Naminé tells Riku that Sora's memories are escaping through Roxas and into a third person, this being Shion. Naminé tells Riku that Shion's face used to look blank before, but her face has become visible due to her entering Sora's memories. Back in the present, Riku sees Roxas running through a portal and out of the world. Shion then has a dream of her, Roxas, and Axel resting against a tree on the island watching the sunset. Axel asks Shion what she wants to do, and she replies that she just wants to be with the two of them. Roxas says that she should go back with them, but Shion can't, not the way she is now, though she wishes that she could be like him and Axel. Back at the clock tower, Roxas tells Axel about a girl he saw at Destiny's Island that looked like Shion. Axel then tells Roxas that they should look for Shion every day after they complete their mission. Roxas excitedly agrees. Day 296. Unable to find Shion, Roxas says that him and Axel should search Castle Oblivion for her. Axel tells him that Shion comes from the castle, so they decide to look for her there. Day 297. In Castle Oblivion, Roxas begins to experience pain and falls unconscious, Axel taking him back to Twilight Town. There they see two cloaked figures, Riku and Shion. Shion escapes and Roxas chases after Riku, being unable to catch him. While they ponder why Shion was with the imposter, Riku asks Shion if she wishes to return with them. Day 298. Roxas comes across Shion in Twilight Town again and tells her that the two of them should return together. However, Shion draws her Keyblade out to Roxas when suddenly, Axel attacks. The two fight and Axel manages to knock Shion out. He takes Shion back to headquarters, leaving Roxas confused. Day 299. When Axel asks Saïx if things are better this way, Saïx asks if you could save one of them, why choose the puppet? Another question, which would you rather suffer the loss of? Some make-believe friendship? Or a real one?
We have to set things right. There's simply too much on the line. Lee.
Elsewhere, Roxas asks Xemnas about Shion. Xemnas tells him not to worry as Roxas remembers Xemnas calling him Sora long ago. Asking about Sora, Xemnas calls him the connection, what links Roxas and Shion together. He then informs Roxas to forget all these distractions. When encountering Axel, Roxas ignores him and walks away. Saïx appears before Xemnas and questions whether or not they have taken suitable measures with Shion and Roxas. Xemnas informs him that Shion is keeping Sora's memories trapped within her, so Sora will remain asleep forever. Day 300. Roxas, Axel, and Shion all come to the clock tower separately and watch the sunset together. Elsewhere, Naminé tells Diz that Sora's memories have stopped. Day 321. Roxas seems to be getting weaker and losing some of his powers. Shion questions Axel about this and he tells her that she is a replica, whose original purpose was to copy Roxas's powers, saying that she may be robbing Roxas's powers more than she should be. While Shion tells Axel that she saw a boy who looks like Roxas, we see that Xigbar is listening in on their conversation. Day 322. Deciding that Shion has become the more worthy vessel than Roxas, Xemnas asks if the devices are ready, and says that whether Roxas or Shion survives at the end, it only matters as long as they have one of them. No matter what, they will possess Sora's powers. Day 352. Shion recounts her meeting with Riku on Destiny's Island. Shion asks about Sora and Kairi and why she looks like her. Riku tells her that her memories actually belong to Sora, that when Sora's memories were scattered, some of them found their way into Shion, and that the only way to awaken Sora is to bring Shion to him. Riku tells Shion that she should take some time to think about who is important to her and where she belongs. Back in the present, Roxas is assigned a mission to fight a powerful Heartless. However, thanks to Axel's interference, he discovers that him and Shion were tricked into fighting each other. They go to the clock tower together and share ice cream for the first time in a while. Axel tells them that they should check their sticks to see if it's a winning one, though he doesn't know what you get with one, having never actually seen one himself. They then promise to keep each other in their thoughts forever. Diz, impatient with recent events, tells Riku to get the job done. Day 353. Sayax confronts Axel for meddling again, and tells him to stop interfering with things. On a 3-person mission between Xion, Xigbar, and Axel, Xion attacks Xigbar, who says that this fight is like a blast from the past. He then asks why, when he looks at Xion, he sees a familiar person who always gives him the same angry look. This person being a boy who looks a lot like Roxas, who has armor on one of his arms. Xion knocks Xigbar out, and when he shows Axel her face, he allows her to leave. When Roxas confronts Axel about letting Xion escape, he doesn't give him a straight answer, but Axel does tell him that Xion is like a reflection of him, that Xion is a puppet, created to duplicate Roxas' powers. Frustrated with Axel, Roxas runs away. Xion meets back up with Riku, having made her choice. He tells her to go to Twilight Town and seek out Naminé. Day 354. Xemnas tells everyone about the true identity of Xion, to the surprise of most, that she was a part of the replica program that Vexen created in Castle Oblivion. However, this program was abandoned after Vexen's death. Xemnas then tells Axel to bring Xion back, no matter what. When Roxas tells Sayax that Xion isn't a puppet, Sayax replies by saying that they have, and always will be, 13. When Roxas confronts Axel about the fact that he's been lying to him all this time, Axel leaves without a word. In Twilight Town, Riku meets up with King Mickey and tells him that he has to fight a powerful enemy soon, and that if he falls into darkness, he wants Mickey to help guide Sora when he wakes up. Day 355. Roxas decides to confront Axel for answers, asking him who he truly is. Axel says that no matter what, Roxas will always be his best friend, but Roxas replies that best friends are always supposed to be honest with each other.
Finding out the truth doesn't always work out for the best.
What makes you so sure about that? I have the right to know the truth! How did I even get here? Why am I so special? Where did I learn how to use the Keyblade? I hardly know who I am. What is so wrong with wanting some answers?
Axel doesn't give Roxas any answers, so he decides to look for them elsewhere. Roxas decides to leave the organization, Axel saying that they'll destroy him for leaving.
No one would miss me.
That's not true. I would.
Day 356. Xion meets Naminé, and Naminé tells her that she was created with Sora's memories of Kairi, which is why she sort of looks like her. When Xion says that she wants to go back to Sora, Naminé says that that will cause her to disappear, and that when that happens, everyone will forget about her. Xion asks Naminé to watch over Roxas when she's gone. Diz then appears and tells them that a member of Organization 13 has found them, and Xion goes to confront them. Outside the mansion, Axel arrives and asks Xion what she wants to do, and she replies that she just wants to go back to where she belongs. Axel agrees, but feels that something just doesn't feel right about it.
It's for the good of everyone.
But how do you know that? Everybody thinks they're right.
This is right.
They're gonna destroy you!
Please don't hold back, Axel. Promise.
What's your problem? You both think you can do whatever you want. Well, I'm sick of it. Go on, you just keep running. But I'll always be there to bring you back!
Back in the castle, Axel collapses with Xion in his arms. Xemnas then arrives and takes Xion with him. Day 357. Roxas rests on the clock tower when Xion joins him. She tells him that she's out of time. She then takes off her hood and Roxas sees that Xion has turned into someone else, and that her face is now that of a boy, Sora. She tells him that she has to make him a part of her too, and that this is why she was truly created. Roxas manages to defeat her as he starts to lose his memories of her as she fades away. Xion says that she's going back to Sora, and is thankful that this will put a stop to Xemnas' plan. She then asks Roxas to set the hearts in Kingdom Hearts free. Roxas then suddenly remembers her and breaks down when she disappears, and shut up, I'm not crying, you're crying. Elsewhere, Axel wonders how all this happened. He sees a letter and opens it, a winning ice cream stick being inside. Day 358. Roxas, armed with 2 Keyblades, goes to the Organization Castle where he is attacked by a bunch of Heartless. Riku then arrives and the two defeat the Heartless together. Both Roxas and Riku's memories of Xion disappears and the two face each other. Angered and determined to get his life back, Roxas attacks Riku and almost manages to defeat him. However, Riku fully embraces the darkness in order to defeat him.
Diz, he could feel Sora.
Oh, he told you how he felt, did he?
Ridiculous. Nobody cannot feel anything.
If he had met Sora, things might have been different.
Day 359, the first day. Roxas wakes up in his bed in Twilight Town, having had another dream about Sora.
Maybe today we'll finally hit the beach. Only 7 days to go, and then my summer vacation's over.
At the end of the credits, we see Roxas seeing Sora for the first time. And that's it, everyone! 358 days over 2. This was definitely an emotional roller coaster that introduced new character Xion and explained Roxas and Axel's friendship and why Roxas ended up leaving the organization. But as always, more questions have been raised. What were Axel and Saïx planning? And why did Saïx call Axel Lee? Also, who was the boy that looked like Roxas that Xigbar saw in Xion? And why does Xigbar appear to know more than he's letting on? All these questions and a lot more, trust me, will be answered in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. See you then.